All right. Aloha and welcome to those of you who are watching this in the future, either on YouTube or Instagram. This is another one of our conscious creator work periods through the Paradigm Shift Central project. For those of you who may be new, again, this is about a project, a team, a community, all about us coming together as conscious media creators to be able to help support each other through our creative processes, through our entrepreneurial endeavors, to be able to help provide more value for the community, to be able to help create regenerative income, and to be able to help accelerate the collective shift in consciousness through the process of us just being able to support each other as a team. So for today's meeting, it's actually it's a small group today. It's just me and Mellisa. So just putting on gallery view there. So Mellisa, you can just wave to the camera there. So Mellisa, aka Plasma Goddess, aka Synergyhealer, and we're gonna get into some stuff with her. We're gonna be talking. She's in the process of getting her Patreon and her Discord set up and everything like that. And before we dive into that, I just want to be able to hit upon a couple things that will also be valuable for those of you who are tuned into this. And usually when we do these meetings, I usually try to do at least like 10 minutes at the start, 15 minutes, just kind of providing some additional insight and tips. And then from there, if you guys want to keep listening further, you're always welcome to, because again, when we're talking to one creator, it's going to be something that will holographically relate to other creators, especially if it might be something where you're doing something similar to what Mellisa is doing. So I encourage you guys to stick around for whatever feels right for you. And again, if you're new to this, you can go back and check out past work periods from previous recordings, links for that in the info. And again, if you want to be able to join on air for our work periods, this is part of what being a leading member is about. And you can become a leading member by joining on my Patreon at the $11 level. And that gives you full access to our community space, our team podcast, access to me as a conscious media creation coach to be able to help support you in doing what it is that you're here to do. So with that said, again, I just want to be able to hit upon just literally just a couple things. I want to just be able to kind of like reflect on like what it is that we are doing as conscious creators in terms of being able to provide value and how we can define value. And then just a couple other things relative to tapping into our leadership. So when it comes to providing value, again, when it comes to providing value as a conscious media creator, I like to be able to put things within this category of being able to create content that is going to educate, inspire, and entertain. And we want to be able to do all of those things. One of the most important things that we want to be able to focus on as a creator is to be able to develop the individual relationships that we're developing with our audience, especially for those of you who are working on building a Patreon. Patreon is, again, where people can sign up for monthly contributions to support creators and get additional perks and rewards. They will do that not just because of what a creator does, but because of how a creator makes them feel. So essentially, when it comes to the collective shift in consciousness and the content that we are trying to do, I always kind of remind people to keep it simplified from this perspective of like, what are we trying to do? Like we're trying to inspire people, we're trying to empower them, and we're also trying to lead them back to their own heart. Trying to lead them back to their own heart is something that I feel works as a simple framework to be able to understand how to kind of wrap that into a variety of content. And then we're actually going to be talking a little bit about just kind of creative brainstorming and getting some ideas for content as we go when we're talking with Mellisa in a second. And so again, with some of the content that you're creating, some of it may be explicitly like, hey guys, like this is like exactly what I'm here to coach. But then there may be other content, be it TikTok or YouTube or anything like that, or even just like written posts on Instagram, where it may just be something that is just kind of like here to kind of like help them drop into an emotional space. Maybe it's something that's going to be like an experience that it just allows them to be able to even like relax. They tune into your video and it makes them just kind of like be like, oh, like that helped me de-stress, that helped me release, that helped me just kind of take a break out of my day. So there's a lot of different ways in which we can provide value. It doesn't always have to be like this funny, upbeat, like in your face, pouring forth information. And at the end of the day, one of the most important things when it comes to providing value is, again, about being able to show up as your authentic self. Your authentic self is your brand, for those of you who, again, are kind of like working on developing themselves that way. So as you get more comfortable with creating content, you get more comfortable with being able to express yourself in an authentic way. And that's what people will recognize. People will recognize that, like people have spent the last like 10 years on social media. They've gotten used to kind of like seeing a variety of different creators outside the spiritual community niche who, again, are kind of like very like quote unquote fake and things like that. And so when you bring yourself into the presence of your community through your content, don't shy away from being, raw and real in a way that's also going to be like balance and moderation with like the content that you're providing, while still making it relative to the themes that you're here to be able to help teach. But again, you want to be able to give people a little bit of like a look inside of your mind, a look inside of your heart, a look inside of the way that you see things. And also when it comes to value, I think it's important to be able to make sure that, for me, and again, this is just coming from my perspective, a lot of the times when I'm teaching people, I'm not necessarily just like saying like, hey, like, like I'm telling you something and I want you to believe it. More so I'm just saying like, here's an idea. do with it what you may. Think for yourself. I think that is very, very important, because when people feel like as if like someone, even like unconsciously as a creator, is kind of like showing up and being like almost coming from a place of like authority, and they're just kind of like, here, like this is what you have to believe because this is what I found out. I read this I saw a YouTube video about this once, and therefore it's true, and you guys have to know this. And again, for those who may be new and everything like that, that can be it create an unhealthy relationship, especially for those who are new to getting involved with the spiritual journey, who may be more impressionable. So for those of you who are developing relationships with your audience, always keep in mind that you're talking to a wide spectrum. You may be kind of niche more towards people who may be a little bit more mature within their spiritual path, but keeping in mind that when you're helping people who may be brand new, to be able to create value and content, not just by like giving them information, but by encouraging them to think for themselves and to develop further and to ask questions and to go down the rabbit hole and to connect the dots. That's really, really important. So again, with that, it kind of begins to like open things up. And so when it comes to the value that you're creating within the individual relationships with the community member and stuff like that, the value, especially for those of you who are building Patreon and Discord, is about the experience. That is such a huge thing. Your value isn't just going to be, sign up for my Patreon and you get, like a secret video, and you get a meditation, and you get like a journal prompt and things like that, which is, side note, that's actually a good thing to have in a Patreon, to be able to provide some sort of custom journal prompt that you can give to people to help them with organizing. But again, the value that you're providing is you are helping facilitate a space for an experience that is going to help lead them back to their own heart, that is going to help them develop a relationship, not just with themselves, but with a community and with a team, and to really be able to help them feel comfortable. And when they are comfortable, that's when they allow themselves to naturally grow and learn, and for them to kind of continue to blossom into their authentic self. So again, I kind of visualize it like this way. This almost goes back to like almost like an Arthurian myth, where there's like, you're basically trying to like lead someone from one side of a shoreline to another side of a shoreline. And so like it's a metaphorical journey. And on the other side of the shoreline is like the wisdom of the heart. So like you're not doing the journey for them, but you might be kind of like taking them across in the boat, so to speak, or you might be kind of leading the way, so to speak. So again, just kind of hitting upon that, just reminding people that regardless of, creating your content online, your TikToks and everything like that, that's really important. That in itself is an experience. That in itself is a relationship. But once you kind of get beyond your TikToks and you're getting involved with your community, with your Discord, with your Patreon, with your one-on-one calls, you're providing value by providing them an experience that really allows them to just be able to drop in deeper into their own space, to be able to have that one-on-one feedback, and to really be able to like allow themselves to see themselves as part of a bigger story that is going to be a story that is going to be something that will empower them. So it's like when I sign up to Mellisa, when I sign up to Melissa's Patreon, to Plasma Goddess's Patreon, I'm not just signing up because I support her content. I'm signing up as an investment for myself, and also to become a part of a bigger story, and to be able to become a part of a bigger team, and to be able to become a part of something that in itself is unfolding as we speak. And there's an excitement in that. It's like you're inviting them on a journey. You can kind of say that, be like, yeah, we're building a team. It's like we're building a fellowship, and we're like traveling across Middle Earth together on a magical mystery adventure type thing. So again, just being able to remind people that when they sign up for your Discord and Patreon, don't shy away from the idea of being able to remind people that this is something that they can look at as an investment for themselves. And I think when you kind of communicate it in that way, it's quite easy, because I'll just say this again, this is a powerful idea that I'll go back to. There's a subtle difference between asking people to sign up for your Patreon and inviting people to sign up for your Patreon. Asking people to sign up for your Patreon often subconsciously comes from a place of lack, whether it is or it isn't, but it sounds like that, even to the audience. It's like, hey guys, can you please sign up for my Patreon? I'm working really hard here to provide you guys a bunch of value. But if you're just suddenly like, yo guys, I am going to keep providing value because that is what I am passionate about. I already know the direction that I'm going in. I'm going on this journey. I'm going on this magical quest. Who wants to join? Who wants to become a part of my crew? Who wants to become a part of my fellowship? Let's go together as a team and let's do this. And then when you do that, people start putting their hands up. They're like, oh, I want to be a part of that adventure. So really frame things, you know, like if you guys feel called to it, like I play around with a lot of like the mythos and the magic and the video game, the gamification, bring in that kind of excitement that we've gained from movies and folklore and comic books over the years, and you know, and create that into your space, create that space as an incubator, as a template for the story that you're creating. And what is the story you're creating? The story you're creating is the story of, again, people coming together to be able to work on themselves, develop themselves, and essentially for them themselves to be able to continue the ripple effect, to be able to help accelerate the shift in consciousness, and reminding them of that they're not just signing up to be able to help develop themselves, but you're constantly encouraging them to know that the benefit that they're getting out of your community is something that will ripple into the lives of others. So it's a very kind of like altruistic perspective, and one that's real. Like, and that's the thing, like none of it has to be out of alignment with anything that is already like, you know, who you are. And that's what you want to be able to work to, is be able to provide a value that people are really feeling and seeing, and it's nothing but who you are. It's like purely in alignment with who you are. And so again, that's where like I'm here just to be able to kind of like give the permission and say like, yeah, like bring in those like fantasy element, gamification, adventure style, because that's what people love. People love that. They right now, and I'll just say this and we'll get wrapped up into moving to Mellisa stuff. Right now, people are hungry and thirsty for community connection. You know, like I in the state of the way that the world is in, this is a prime opportunity to be able to give people the value of connecting with community, you know, because a lot of people, they just don't have that right now. So if you can create a digital space and everything like that, that is a very, very powerful way to do it. And again, once you started building your Discord, don't just think of your Discord as a Discord chat. Think of your Discord as like a digital version of a kingdom or an office space. Again, you know, you kind of like walk into the Discord and every single channel is like a different room. Every single channel is like a different house or something like that. And you can imagine you're kind of navigating through it. It's kind of like a video game in that sense. So again, just kind of tapping upon this to be able to get you guys into more of the mindset of like what being a leader is about. And being a leader is about being able to, like, it's kind of funny, but it's almost like being like a dungeon master in like Dungeons and Dragons and, you know, like old like tabletop games. I'm not even like a huge Dungeons and Dragons geek, but I mean, I know enough about it where, again, being a leader is about being able to be a facilitator, being able to be the one who's going to say, here's our routine, here's our schedule, here's our space. You guys are invited to be able to help create along with it. Here's my wisdom, here's my insight, here's my value, always encouraging them to think for themselves, to be able to do what they will with the information, inviting them into a place of reflection and inviting them into their own place of leadership. Leaders creating leaders, captains amongst captains. So yeah, again, you know, with that, I want you guys to really kind of begin feeling the excitement of being like, yo, okay, this is sweet. Like, I'm not just like, you know, like, yes, I'm creating a Patreon. Yes, I'm creating a Discord, but like, I'm also creating a team of like-minded soul family and soul tribe. And this is the other idea. You are already connected with the people who you have yet to meet. So what you need to do, you need to be able to create a clear signal. And this is the importance of the clarity of the signal, which will develop over time. For some of you, you know, it may be something that you will continue to work on, and it will become more clear as you go. But again, that clear signal will be sent out, and the people who resonate with your content will find it. You just have to be an ambassador for that signal. So that's where your regular content, like your TikTok and things like that, that's the value of it. Every time you create a TikTok video, even if it's not directly related to your Patreon and things like that, it's giving people an invitation for them to get to know you, but it's also through you is the signal that you carry. And with that signal is the invitation for them to be able to connect further. And again, you shouldn't have to like sell them on it. You're simply telling them about it. And the ones who resonate, once you invite them, they'll be able to be like, yo, that's for me. So keep doing that, and the synchronicity of the algorithms will bring the right people to you. Keep holding that space, and yeah, just have fun doing it. At the end of the day, this should be something that, again, you know, when you're doing it, you want to be able to like really wake up and be like, yes, this is exciting. So keep working on doing that. So all right, so with that said, I'll pass it over to Mellisa, and then from there, Melissa's just going to check in and let us know where she's at, and then we'll get into some additional questions and things like that as we go. So Mellisa, even just with what I said, let me know if any feedback on that, if that makes sense and everything like that. So, and for people in the YouTube, you can let us know as well afterwards. Go ahead, Mellisa, when you're ready. And thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. So I am just getting my Patreon put together and my Discord. I've been on social media for a little while, kind of fumbling around trying to figure out how to piece together all the things that I have to offer under my business, because I have various different things that I'm offering to people. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I think for my questions, I have trouble with marketing and staying consistent with marketing. It's hard because I have so many different things that I offer to people, and I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of like, because you're a similar thing, Brendon, where you have all these different things that you have available for people. So for someone like you, what's a way that helps you market yourself that really helps you stand out and attract the people that you want, your target audience for your business? I know that's a
Awesome.
little off topic.
I honestly, I feel that's completely relative to what we were just talking about. Cause again, for me, like maybe there's even just kind of like this paradigm of what we think marketing is that can begin to change. Because again, I think kind of just what I said, it's for me, what it's about. I don't even really think of the term marketing so much. I'm aware of that term. I don't really put that into my mindset. Like I think of it again as basically like sending out a consistent signal and then making sure that that signal has a heartbeat to it. So I think with marketing, I think honestly what we refer to as marketing, I think honestly that is essentially presence. And what you're doing is you're maintaining a presence. And how you maintain a presence is by maintaining a heartbeat with your content. And so kind of like with what I was saying, some of your content may be like, hey guys, this is like what I'm, offering and things like that. But the other part of that is just like, here's a video of me out in nature. Here's a video of me just doing regular things and taking time off and relaxing and reminding you to get out in nature and exercising and being healthy and things like that. That's all quote unquote marketing, because that is all a signal being sent. That's again, you become an example for what it is that you're offering, right? So like you have a lot of expertise, and this goes for anybody listening to this. Everybody has value and expertise, and some of you are still developing and investing in that expertise, and it grows over time. But again, like through simply you just continuing to kind of like show up in a way that is very much like, true to who you are, intentionally kind of bringing in that like that very much like, like attractive energy, that healthy, sparkful, fiery, compassionate, empathetic, inspiring energy that is who you naturally are and everything like that. People see that. And then I think what I would recommend, and I say this for everyone, have your link tree, have your Patreon and your Discord in your link tree, or again, have the links available in some form or another. And then what I think is going to be very helpful for you is, again, keep making content, and then every now and then create one specific TikTok where it's literally just telling people, kind of like what I've done, where it's just like, hey everyone, I just want to let you know that we have a private community and we're working together here. And from my understanding, like your community, is it just females for the Discord chat? Like that, is that one of the attributes of it?
Right now it is, but
Right
all
now?
people are,
Okay.
all people
Yeah.
are welcome though.
Cool. Okay. So whether or not you kind of like say like, because I mean, for some people, and that's totally cool. For some people, they can literally say like, this is like, a sacred space for like goddess empowerment and stuff like that. But if you're opening it up to everyone, but yeah, every now and then you just, because again, you're creating a TikTok video. And if you create a TikTok video that is not about your Patreon and your Discord, but it gets viral, that becomes a link back to your Patreon and your Discord when you post that next video where people have gotten to know you. And then again, you're basically just like, hey, like for those who are interested, like we've been building this community and this team, and we have weekly meetings, and we have, Zoom calls, and we have like, you can access me for one-on-one coaching, and I'm here to support you. You can press it all into 1 minute. And then again, you essentially work with this format. And this is what I've been telling other people to do, where you basically just say like, if you're interested, leave a comment down below. And people who are interested will leave a comment down below. And then you follow through with that. You give it a day, or you reply right away. You see those comments and you follow those people back on TikTok. or Instagram or wherever you post, presumably on TikTok, because that's probably where the algorithm is going to be better. You follow them back and you just say, hey, this is just following up on the post about our community. Would you like me to send you more information on that? And they would obviously be like, yes, I'd love to hear more about that. And you say, you express your gratitude. You'd be like, thank you. And this is all authentic. This is a format, but this is all authentic. It can work for anybody. And then from there, what you would do is you would just ask them politely and say, like, may I send you a direct message on Instagram with more information and links? And then when you do that, that's when you get into the Instagram, because the Instagram can send direct links. TikTok, you cannot send direct links. So it's a little bit convoluted. So you actually prefer to be able to go into the Instagram, plus it creates like the additional chance for them to see more of your content, make sure they're more connected. And then you basically from there, you can either just kind of like write a brand new message, or you literally have like a copy paste set of message where, and they know this, where it's like, this is the information about the team, because that's what they asked for, right? And then from there, you're literally saying, you know, here's our Discord if you want to join that, here's our Patreon, here's how it works. You can join up in the contributions process a little bit later. So there's a bit, you can kind of get your foot in the door and try it out and things like that. If you have any questions, let me know. And then you kind of do this and everything like that. So that's a format that I've been working with. It's working quite well. It's authentic, it's genuine. It allows you to get to know people, and it allows you to just kind of bring in the people that are going to be a good fit because they've already expressed interest. And then from there, the other main thing that I would encourage in terms of like, again, what we're thinking of as marketing, which is again, essentially a pulse, which is essentially again about being able to develop the relationship, is the live broadcast. And so for you, Mellisa, I would really encourage you to create some kind of schedule. And I know you're starting to do this already, where you're jumping on, you know, your TikTok lives and your Instagram lives, and you let people know. You can be like, hey guys, like I'm doing like a Q&A. And it could just be that. It could be, or it could be like very specific. It could be like a Q&A about health and fitness, or health and diet, or something like that. Something within your niche, something that you're familiar with, something that you know you could talk for hours about, right? And then you invite people into this. You can create a TikTok video about it, and you could make it like a weekly thing, you know, or if you really want to commit to it, you could even do like, again, like a specific like morning meditation routine on the regular. And again, every single time that you go live with a scheduled routine, each and every single one of those broadcasts becomes a lead-in back to your Patreon and Discord. Every single one of those is marketing, because they're getting to know you. And then within that, you naturally just be able to communicate and just be like, thank you everyone again so much for joining. If you guys would like to be able to connect further, be sure to connect to the Discord, connect to my Patreon, send me a direct message if you're interested. And again, even during lives, this is a little tip. I'm not sure if you've heard this, but I'll mention it for those of you who are new. What you can literally do, if you're literally telling people, you know, you can say like, here's a little bit of information about our private community and what I offer. If this is something you're interested in, drop a 555 in the comments down below, and I'll follow you back right now. So you do that on TikTok, and you can literally see people do that. You click their account, you follow back. You follow up with a DM after your broadcast. Thanks for joining the broadcast. Would you like me to send you more information on that? Yes, I would. You follow through with that. You repeat this process and everything like that. Again, there's a format, but the format works. Like, I've been using this. I want you guys to use this. It's genuine. It's authentic. It's your value. It's just a way that we found that's basically like a hack within the social media platforms that works well, and it works in a genuine way. So that would be kind of, again, my quick answer to that is almost kind of like, try to take the concept of how we used to think about marketing and kind of put that aside and just focus on showing up in an authentic, playful, genuine way with a regular heartbeat. The consistency will be valuable. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to take days off. Again, if we're doing one post a day, that's plenty. Even again, if you're doing the posts and stuff like that on TikTok, I would encourage you to again, you know, do long posts, like 1 minute posts, but then make sure that like every 2 or 3 videos is like a 15-second video, because every now and then those 15-second videos, if you put a little bit of production value into it, one of those could go viral, and then that leads people back into your longer posts. The longer posts can go viral. It is something that, again, you know, the trick you want to do with TikTok, this is just kind of side tactics. TikTok will determine if your video gets seen by more people based on the watch time, and of course based on the likes to watch ratio. So if you can create a 1 minute video that's like, hey guys, here's like 3 tips that you need to know about health and diet, and you create a format where there's a bit of a hook that's going to entice them to stay through to the entire thing. And then you could even create a little call to action or something like that, or just create, just be like, I want to see like you guys commit to this, like drop a comment in the comment, like drop a comment below saying like, yes, if you're going to commit to this or something like that, something to entice and engage, because that's going to get the comments going and everything like that. But again, having the 1 minute videos and then making sure that you're doing the 15-second videos. And then again, the 15-second videos can also be uploaded as Instagram Reels, and every now and then an Instagram Reel could easily go viral as well. So making sure that you're kind of playing with both of those. But yeah, going back to you, Mellisa, let me know if that gives you some better, just some more clarity or any other questions, and we'll go into some other stuff as well. Go ahead.
No, that was excellent. And it actually reminded me there's something else that I wanted to talk to you about, is structure. So that I want to say, I'm very creative. I like to refer myself as a circle, as opposed to a square, because I don't have any structure just in general. So as a person that kind of comes from a place like this, do you have any advice on like just how to like structure something or like a business like this when you have so much to offer? That was another thing that I'm having kind of an issue with, is just like making it structured. And I think the Patreon is going to kind of give me more structure, especially with the tiers. But with the tiers, I'm a little confused on how I should use those to offer the services that I have, like through my artwork and breath work and like oracle readings is something I want to get into. So I'm just trying to figure out like how I can structure that so I have it available for people. Yeah, and like the pricing and all that. I'm very new to Patreon, so I'm trying to figure all that out.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I think we can dive into this. A lot of this stuff may be stuff that we'll end up talking about even more detail beyond the meeting and everything it is right now. I don't think you haven't sent me your tiers on Patreon yet, right? Like, do you want to maybe just give me, like, if you were just explain to me like what you currently got, and maybe I'll just give you some feedback on the spot if you want to do that, or if that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So I actually, like, I was writing down notes yesterday from yesterday's work period, trying to figure out how I want to make the tiers. And I really like your breakdown with the $5 and the $11 and so forth. So the thing is, what I'm trying to figure out is like, I like the amounts for that, but I'm already offering, like weekly breathwork sessions for people, as well as I do have a weekly community breathwork session I do every Sunday. That's totally free. It's donation based. If people want to support, they can. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm able to kind of tie in the Patreon tiers with what I'm already kind of offering and try to like combine that. Like maybe like I was thinking maybe like the $5 amount, I'd do like a 15 discount on my artwork, oracle readings, and breathwork sessions to start. And then with the $11 would be like the access to the paid membership on my Discord chat, and then 25% discount off of everything that I previously just listed, plus conscious creator coaching and like working together to like build each other's businesses. That's kind of what I had written out as just brainstorming, but now I don't know what else to like for like the higher tiers. I have no idea what to put those as.
Okay, cool. Okay, so right now, is it just 5 and 11? Is that currently what you have?
Yeah, and then the rest,
Yeah.
I have 22, 33, 55, and 111 as the rest. And I'm like, I have no idea what to put over those.
Okay. So there's some advice that I mentioned. I think I mentioned it yesterday as well, but I'll just kind of like reiterate it again. Where like I encouraging people to kind of like offer more of like the one-to-one private coaching with higher tiers. So like I think again what you're doing with like the $5 level is they can get a discount for your items. And maybe like a discount for like single one-on-one sessions or anything else that you're offering. And then the $11, that's access to the full Discord. And then again, within that, I think if you can start kind of like what you may end up doing is you may end up kind of like taking the community class that you're doing your breath work and just kind of incorporating that into the benefit of the $11 Patreon, and then letting people know that have already been involved with that breath work that if they were to join on Patreon, they'd actually be getting a better deal, you know, like because if they're already like donating a little bit to begin with, just be like, hey guys, like, and again, it's not like, oh, I'm taking something away. It's like, no, we're just changing the format. And this is actually going to be more valuable because it's going to help invite more people into the breath work, right? You're going to allow more people to be able to find out about it. So yeah, like having the Discord at the $11 level, it might make sense if that like automatically allows them to be able to join in a variety of your private Zoom calls and Zoom teachings and things like that, which can include your breath work. But at the same time, even within that, you can still let people know that it is still like an optional donation base as well. So there may still be people that may literally just join with the one-off for that, and they may be, you know, like here's $5 for the breathwork class if that's what they choose. If they're already signed up for the Patreon, they still get access to that. You're not losing money that way. You're still getting more people involved, and then people who may join in from the Patreon anyways, they may donate on top of that. They may be like, oh, here's another $20 or something like that. It depends. But I think if you can do that, and then with the higher tiers, what I was recommending for people who are in a place where they do want to offer kind of more on the one-on-one coaching is to be able to do that through a series of like basically where it's like a $30 a month would give you access to like text-based coaching where they can text you and ask you questions. A $50 a month would be voice-based coaching where they can send you voice messages. And this is what I was mentioning with the app Voxer, which is just a separate app from Discord and from Instagram. And it just keeps things consolidated so they don't get lost in the messages because you're going to get more of them in the future. And so that's a private app for them. And that's where they can send voice messages. And again, you're getting back to those in a timely manner, but they understand you have your own schedule. And then at like the $100 plus, and like this is where you can really kind of create those more things. That's where you're getting more into like the lifestyle diet coaching. Like you would still be doing that in the other stuff, but that's like, okay, like when you're signed up at, you know, either like $100 a month or more, $100 a month could be, you know, like either maybe it depends what you're comfortable with. That could be like twice a month, one-on-one call for just 30 minutes. Or you could, again, kind of like do it where it's like a $200 a month. And then that could be, you know, like maybe like twice or three times. Again, you can increase that value. You can increase that value because I think you do have a lot of value to be able to offer there. And again, for the people who are willing to do that, they're like, yeah, this is going to, again, you know, I like the idea of having Mellisa in my corner, and this is an investment for myself. This is going to help me really change my life and get my diet in order and motivate me. And, you know, maybe even some things that you might be doing, this could be a thing. I don't know if you've thought about this, but to even within your one-on-one coaching, you could even do like one-on-one, like Zoom exercise classes or something like that, you know, where you're just like, okay, like today we're going to do some gentle stretches, and you're literally just walking them through. This could be a one-on-one thing. You could also incorporate that into a Zoom thing for the Patreon supporters at the $11 level as well, where you're like, okay, guys, like this is, you know, similar to what we do with our morning meditations. We do a little bit of body movement, you do a little bit of exercise. You could have some of those for free that you just do for the people on a regular basis. But then again, you could have like a special like Saturday morning one or again, another time slot that works for you, which could be like, again, just kind of like more of like a private Zoom exercise thing where it might kind of be like more of like, okay, let's start off with exercise. And then let's have kind of like a group check-in, you know, like how's everybody feeling with their diet? What have been your wins this week and things like that. So it's like a group coaching call in that sense. So yeah, so again, that basic format, the $11, that gives people access to the Patreon, the Discord. It gives them access to some of the Zoom meetings, the breath work, if you want to do that. And then like the $30, that could be text-based. And then like $50, $60, that could be voice-based reply, and then like $100 plus. And again, that's where it could be like, it'd be 100, it'd be 200, it'd be 300, depending on how, like you could put a lot of value into that, right? If people have you in their corner and they have access to you for like voice chat and video calls, you can kind of modify it in a way that works for them, right? So like that could even be presented as a sliding scale so for that more private, it would be like 100 up to, you know, $300, $400, depending on what the person's need is and depending on what it is that you've already talked to them about as well. So yeah, that would just kind of be my idea. And again, that's something that, you know, for people listening to this, you guys could modify that as well in some kind of similar format. You just want to make sure that, again, you're not offering too much of yourself to too many people at too low of a price, because there's a limit. There's a limit to how much you can do that. You want to make sure that, again, even for your higher stuff, that it's something that you literally say like, okay, like only 3 people can sign up for this at a time. So it would create like a little bit of an incentive, and you can let people know even in your Instagram, you could say like, hey guys, like I got a spot open for my like high-end monthly diet lifestyle coaching. Let me know if this is something you're interested in. Don't even say what the price is. Just let me know if it's something you're interested in. Again, the people who are genuinely interested will touch base. And then again, it's something that you can easily talk about in your other broadcasts. So again, see, that's the thing. This is where it gets really exciting. You could do like a free, morning meditation with your TikTok and your Instagram live, or again, even on your YouTube. And then as you do that, you're also letting them know about your high-end coaching. Guys, I really enjoyed you taking part in this broadcast. If there are those of you who would like to be able to work with me further, I offer this through my high-end one-on-one coaching. If you're interested, send me a direct message. In the meantime, if you want to check the links out of my profile, you can do that and everything like that. So you show up for a couple of those, you keep doing that, and there will be people that as they get to know you, they'll be like, yo, I really like Melissa's vibe. I really like this. I've been looking for someone to be able to work with. This is a good fit for me, and then you just have that follow up. So you do a couple of those live broadcasts, and that could easily result in like a, like a $200, $300 Patreon supporter, as well. And then you just kind of rotate through things. And then even still, if people are going to kind of, decide that when they sign up for that, it might be something where they sign up for it for, like a 3-month commitment or something like that, or if they are leaving early, they have to just give you a heads up that way. So you can make sure that you have time to be able to invite somebody else in, opposed to leaving you high and dry if they suddenly decide to leave and everything like that. Cause that's part of the risk when you have the high end is if somebody leaves, you want to make sure that, you either have time to replace them or your life isn't on the line. If it's like a matter of paying bills and everything like that. So just that's again, kind of like there's benefits in building small Patrons over time, because if one of those leaves, it's not going to be a make or break deal. But, building the bigger ones, it's great. But yeah, you just want to be aware that, yeah, if one of those leaves, obviously it's going to be a little bit of a dent in the income, but, yeah, you'll figure it out as you go. Passing back to you, how does that feel? Or what do you think on that?
No, that was excellent. Definitely gave me good insight on how to break up the tiers and break up what I should offer for each one. Excellent. Thank you so much. I think I just have one more question if we have time.
We do. Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. So, so what are some ways to balance entertainment and education into a piece of content? That's something that I am trying to figure out. And it's stumping me to where it's making it hard for me to even feel motivated to create content as such. And this is something that used to come very naturally for me, but for whatever reason, I'm having like a brain fart about it. And I was wondering if you have any advice on that.
For sure. I think when it comes to, when you look at TikTok, there's so many people kind of using a variety of styles. I think one of the styles that I've seen used quite successfully, especially if you're in one of those days where you're just like, ooh, like, okay, like I need to put something up. I don't have a lot of time to work on it. And you do like a little video where it's like literally, it could literally be you like outside either dancing or exercising, and then you're like having information come up on screen, like literally just educational information on screen, like popping up. You could be pointing to it or something like that. You could just kind of be like engaging with it. This could be a short video, and then you add some like funky music to it. The music can be kind of like the entertainment. You doing whatever you're doing on screen. If you're working out, if you're exercising, you're doing some squats, some lunges, all of that stuff that you would naturally be doing anyways. It reflects to you, oh wow, okay, this person, they're engaged, they're active lifestyle. This is, they're walking the walk and everything like that. And then the information is kind of like, it's there, like it's just kind of there. So people are just kind of like, there's like 3 things going on, and then there's like, oh shit, I just learned something, because of the information on screen. So if anything, I would say, if you feel called to it, maybe try something like that, and then just see what the reception's like. Try it, and then just kind of like see what the reception's like on TikTok and Instagram, and even just kind of, look at some other people. And one person I would recommend, if you look at Aura Vibin on TikTok, who's one of our members, She's done a lot of content where yeah, it's literally, you know, like it's like her like dancing, but then it's like information kind of coming up as she's doing it and stuff like that. So it's worked quite well. You know, it's actually like boosted her account quite well. So yeah, that would just be something off the top of my head. But then at the same time, you know, there's plenty other ways where I think a lot of it just kind of has to do with being able to develop more of a familiarity with the different ways that you can deliver through spoken word and through voice and things like that. I mean, if you really want to get creative, you could even do like some sort of like freestyle, like half-ass rap or something about it. Be like, here's the ways you're going to be healthy today. You got to drink that celery. Hey, hey, hey. Or like, I don't know. Like you could be like totally just like a geek about it or something, right? Like honestly, if you were to do something that's like cringy but educational and entertaining, people would be like, whoa, my respect for her just went through the roof. Like that's a brave right there, right? So if you want to play with that, that might be it. Because I again, kind of like you said, I think there's a lot of creativity. It's just kind of like, okay, like how do I package this? But again, I think if it's a very playful but still educational, people will be like, oh, that type of energy. People remember that, you know, people will remember that. They'll be like, whoa, okay, I want to see what she does next, you know, because it was kind of weird, but it was funny and it was entertaining and educational. I'm going to stick around for this, you know. So, and again, just brainstorming here. Let me know, or any ideas you think. So.
No, I love that. That really like spiked my brain. I felt some hinges going and some
Perfect.
gauges turning. So that definitely helped. And I'm definitely going to check out Aura Vibin. She sounds like my kind of energy. So
For sure. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just getting close to wrapping up the meeting. What do you feel are some of your next steps? And is there anything else you feel you need clarity on as well before we wrap things up? I think even just from talking today, it sounds like you've got a pretty good idea of what direction you're going in.
Yeah, this whole meeting gave me a lot of lucidity on how to move forward. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I think my next move is I'm going to write out these tiers and get my Patreon up and launched. And then I think I'm going to figure out how I want to market that. And well, not market, but create content for it to put it out there and share about it and attract those people.
Awesome. And just with your Discord, is it do you have like a public access to it, or is it just going to be for like, yeah, can you just tell me a bit about how your Discord's set up real quick?
Yeah, so it's public access, and right now it's just of made up of the small group of women that I kind of banded together because we're all conscious creators, and I felt like putting us all together in a group would help us grow. The only thing is not everybody is super active in it. So it's really enticing me to want to just attract more people. So that's why I want to make it a public thing, just to get more people engaged. And I have it kind of all listed out with all the different chats and the categories, and tried to make it as structured as possible. And just added all of the channels that I felt were relevant to what I already talk about in this group. And we were doing weekly meetings, like single meetings, but they kind of broke off, but I'm trying to gather everybody back up to do them again and get that rolling. Yeah, I have the rules and guidelines written out. I kind of just went based off of what you written off and kind of created it into my own words. And I have a community update section for people, for everybody. And then I have one chat that so far that is for only admin and paid members, which will be based off like joining the second tier of my Patreon will give you that access. And I'm gonna like start doing weekly meetings with people with that just, you know, want to talk about different things similar to what you do, like with dreaming, astral projection, and just get people, you know, sharing their stories. Because like you always say, like it's important to keep these conversations going. So that's what I want to do with that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in creating it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So with it is right now, like again, just kind of looking at how like we've modeled our Discord and everything like that. Like, are you kind of only bringing in people to the Discord if it's like people that you've talked to previously, or do you eventually feel that you're just going to create like a public link and let people join just because the link's been posted? Which
Yeah, it'll be a
one?
public link. I'll be inviting both. Like I have
Okay.
my breathwork community right now, and after I got everything set up, I was going to invite them and then get the ball rolling and just making it a public thing and being like, hey, if you want to join this community, it's totally free. If you want to support and, you know, like actually work on and get to join all these things that you can't just by being a free member, you know, the more in-depth meetings on all the cool things, then you can join the Patreon and get access to that and, you know, expand your consciousness. That's the whole goal.
Cool. Yeah, with that, like just based on like feedback from my experience, you may just want to be able to like, I mean, it's up to you. Like you know your community better than I do, but again, you know, like just knowing that like if you have too much for free and too much just like available for anybody to come in, that in itself can create a problem. It can create like a situation where, again, you know, people aren't fully there for the right reasons, or they're not fully invested with kind of the routine and the schedule. So again, that's where with ours, like basically long story short, like we have like one channel that's active to the public that people can join. And then again, that also gives them the benefit of like seeing the announcements and the routine. And then pretty much the rest of it is just for your Patreon supporters or just for people that you have already chosen to give access to. And so that's where like within your Discord, that's where you have the different roles that you create as well. So that would be something I would invite you to consider, that, because again, I would just hate for you to kind of like, you know, like invite in too many people, because again, eventually if you do that, where suddenly the entire thing just becomes public, it actually takes away a bit of the enticement for the Patreon as well. You know, like that value of having it as a private space is part of the value that you're offering for the Patreon supporters. And it's kind of like more of like a sacred space. Not to say that there won't be people who will be in there and having a great time and everything like that. But again, if they're constantly getting it for free, are they going to be less likely to sign up type thing? So I think if you can maybe decide on, there might be like 2 or 3 channels that might be access to the public, and then the rest should be Patreon. So again, I think if you can kind of take the theme of what it is that you want to be able to get people engaged with, which again, you know, I think you could have like, again, some discussion, which is just kind of like regular public. And then you have one that's specifically for like health and nutrition. And then you might have, again, you know, like other ones for, you know, more kind of like spiritual or things like that. But then you have like your more specific topics and everything for your Patreon supporters. That's just been, again, from my experience and stuff. Because again, you know, I think if you give too much away, that's actually hurting the entire community, because you want to just be able, like, they'll still, because that's the thing, like you can still offer a lot of content for free, but just don't offer all of it for free. Don't offer too much of it for free. So how much can you give to them where they can still join and be like, oh, I'm glad I joined. This is awesome that it's free, and I want to be able to get more out of it. You don't want them to be able to be like, whoa, I joined it and I get all this. This is great. And then they just get way too comfortable, and then they have no enticement to be able to sign up. So just give them, again, kind of like that sample, and it gives them a way to just be able to peek inside. And again, they kind of walk in and they see what the other members are up to and everything like that. And then that will eventually lead them into doing more of it. Again, that's just based on, again, kind of what I've experienced, but something I would recommend, especially if you're going to start releasing a link on public, because again, you don't want to give people who are brand new full access to the public chat, who haven't read the community guidelines, and then it just gives you an extra job of having to moderate the chat, especially if you have a lot of channels. And I know I saw your channels yesterday. You may, like, it's up to you, but you may even want to decide to maybe wait to roll some of those out. Like there could be some there that like they're great to have, but you might just kind of want to wait until like phase 2 to start rolling some of those out, and just keep it, again, as simple as possible. So some of those, I know you kind of got like recommendations, and there's like almost like 4 or 5 channels there. Like that could almost be like one channel for now. And then eventually you could start introducing specific channels as, again, you know, as you start getting feedback from the community and just start gauging how things are going. Because even with Discord, you don't want it spread out too much, you know, like, or else people are just like, they got like 20 different conversations they're trying to keep track of. If you can, the smaller your Discord, the better. In all things considered, because people's days are quite busy and they just need to be able to jump in there, read a couple things, engage real quick, and then, you know, come back and, you know, tomorrow, and they don't have an entire, you know, whole thing to be able to go through. So, and then add things as you go. So that would be my feedback based on what I've learned over the years. But go ahead. Let me know. I mean, again, I'm open to whatever you think as well. So.
No, that's awesome. I actually really like that because, like for me, like joining Discord. I'm not super familiar with Discord. I'm also very new to this. And joining your Discord at first, I was a little overwhelmed with how many different categories there were. So I was like, whoa, this is a lot. This is going to take me a little bit to process and for me to get comfortable with, which it did, and I was totally fine with. But I can totally see what you're saying, especially as like, because everyone that I've invited so far are very new to Discord. They never have had this app before too. So that's a good idea to simplify everything. So I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I think that's all that I have for right now. And then, yeah, I just need to add the Patreon counter too on one of them, because I haven't added that yet, but I was going to today.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds great. And again, with the Patreon tracker, like you can put that even in like your Instagram story. Bless me. Thanks. Good thing I hit the mute button there. But yeah, you know, with your Patreon counter, that's something that you can even just like, again, you can kind of like build up to that, even through your Instagram and things like that, where it might even be something where it's like, hey guys, you know, like next Friday, like we're launching the Patreon. I'm letting you know about it ahead of time. Send me a DM if you're already interested. And you could literally just send them the link then because it's already up, but you're like publicly kind of leading up to a bit of an announcement for it. And then again, you know, just make sure that the people who you're inviting into the chat, who you've already got involved, just make sure that they clearly understand the expectation that, you know, like, yes, you're grateful that they're there. This is, again, you know, something that they would be encouraged to be able to join on the Patreon when they can, when it works for them. And I think, again, people who support your work and are in a position to be able to do so, they'll be able to do so. And again, if there's any exception, you just kind of communicate with them about that privately as well. But yeah, no, I think you're definitely working towards some exciting things. And I think, you know, the other thing I would just recommend is maybe start scheduling in some specific live broadcast events. Like you could even do a thing where it's like, okay, you know, like this evening we're doing, you know, like a 1 hour kind of like super lecture all about like health and nutrition or like diet, you know, diet mindset or something like that. And again, you're with those, you could literally kind of like do those. You could do those as like something where you could make it like public, like you could put that out for free. So that's the thing. You could create like a little event where it's like, hey, this is a lecture. And if you're broadcasting on YouTube, which you can set up and broadcast from your desktop, people tune in. And then again, they tune in from there. And by the end of that, they're like, thank you again so much, everyone, for joining in. If you want to be able to work with me further and work with our community, make sure you connect to our Discord link and join on the Patreon. So again, it becomes like a big lead in for that. A lot of people kind of do this and things like that, but you don't have to do it in a way that feels gimmicky. Again, your primary objective is to be able to provide people value. And then as you continue to do that, the more people get to know you and get to become familiar with the value, they'll just naturally decide for themselves if it's something they want to be able to follow up with. But yeah, I think having some kind of, again, routine for live broadcast, either a big one or again, just getting into the habit of doing some like regular, you know, little meditations, or again, even taking your breath work and kind of bringing that into an Instagram platform, or sorry, like a TikTok live platform or a YouTube as well. And any of that, please feel free to share it in our Paradigm Shift team chat as well. And we'll invite people to tune in when we can. So cool. Sweet. Okay. Well, we'll wrap up the meeting here. But again, anything else, just let me know. And I'm excited for what it is that you're creating. I think you're doing a good job. So thumbs up. So cool. All right. So just any just kind of closing words, or just even, you know, gratitude or anything like that, please feel free.
Yeah, I am so grateful for you, Brendon. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom today. And I am really excited to move forward with this, because this is exactly what I needed just to expand myself more. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you again, Mellisa. And again, for everybody here, look up Plasma Goddess on Instagram and TikTok now. And you can find the link for that down below. And again, if you're tuned into this on YouTube, please feel free to leave your comments afterwards. And again, if you want to get involved further with our team, you can find the team chat for our Discord and the Patreon, where you can join as a leading member at the $11 a month. And then you can be involved in these meetings. And again, we can help coach you through things, as well as a conscious media creation coach. Cool. Okay. So with that said, here, Mellisa, just do like a quick like peace sign for the thumbnail. There we go. Perfect. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. Wrapping up this meeting. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. And again, for those of you watching this, our regular work periods are Monday Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 3 to 4 p.m. EST. So you can find all the uploads on YouTube. Go check out past ones if you're looking for more tips and tricks. And yeah, looking forward to being able to see you guys in the Discord and wherever else we happen to see you. So until next time. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.